Hi, this is Jeong-Sik. Very nice meeting you by online. I feel very honored invited as a guest lecturer for this symposium. So my lecture reflects on the space that we use, that we do the artwork daily. We like to see the sequence in urban and space context. So let me just introduce myself. I graduated the Yale School of Drama 2015. The program is dedicated technical design for drama or entertainment industry. For this moment, I'm studying doctoral program in NUS architecture schools. I just done a coursework and I'm writing thesis for this moment. I do rigging for theater arena. I teaching the riggings and technical stuff, and also I have been I have been 4 years when I back to Korea. But before that, I've been Singapore and Switzerland and US. I was involved designing studio which design theater or theme park museums. So yeah, my work scope is very broad for this moment, but yeah, let me just skip that. So Ghost Relax is a studio that I involved mainly. We do designing space for artwork. Sometimes we research and develop for drama or entertainment show. We do training for technical staff so that they can use the space 100%. And we also do consult local government or art council for better serving for artists as well. So a little bit broad. So let me just introduce the current space design projects. We do designing public space. Also, we do designing arena. So we try, and this is the first international arena style to support all the entertainment show. So we are very excited for this project as well. The immersive space, they support 3D sounds and very experimental artwork for the artist. This is a good project as well. Consult tour, we are a small studio. We usually doesn't design the consult tour, but we help them to planning the space for the artist. Yeah, we are very dedicated for this area as well. This is current project that we are working on. Chuncheon City is renovate some places. We are helping them to better theater or better art venues, and also we are designing event space as well. So it's quite broad. And this is my personal overseas projects. We do designing. I involved Universal Studios project in Singapore. We help them as a PM project manager to finishing a couple of the venues, and we do a lot of competitions, international competitions. This is a Berlin's the protein theater project is a quite interesting one, and also this is one of the projects that I involved as internships in New York. That is a kinetics building that can extract it and nest it with interesting programs. Sometimes we do exhibition, fashion shows, or we do quite interesting the performing arts for publics. Sometimes we nested it, and then we can do some interesting cinemas, scenes, those things. Yeah, so show related, we helped the Pyeongchang Olympic opening and closing ceremony in technically. We are very happy to finish it safely. And also we we are researching to help how we work together with the artist and architect for the better designing venues. So this is a app, so what we just developed it for our interest. And also this one is a digital twin project. There is a couple of the venue, and then we like to make a digital twin. Twin is 쌍둥이. So we try to make offline buildings so that an artist or audience can access through the online platforms. So if you visit our website, ghostrx.net, you may see our work in detail. Anyway, training, we do a lot of training, especially technical stuff, rigging or projections and those things. We are very happy with this serving as well. It comes with our mission. So today topics, we covers a lot of things, and then I have a 150 slides, and the coordinator asked me to finish it 4:45, so I need to finish up. So maybe I need to jump up a couple of the slide. So we're going to talk about the space of the performing art. Let's go back to 3000s ago. We have a Greek theater. This is I know most of you is a musician, so this is our domains, territories, and people is around that. It is made of stones. At that time, so we have a lack of the technology, so we just use mountains. And subsequently, we are crazy about the painting, so we like to reflect all the painting technology into our venue. This is the first venue, indoor venue in world, Teatro Olimpico. It is located in Italy. If you go there, you can find it. This is a really nice venue. When you take a look, the stages is a little bit interesting things happens. Always focus on the focus on I got a call, but I'm not sure this is from NUS. But anyway, this is a little bit focused on that reflects a painting technologies. We call the force perspective scenery. At times, floor or a little bit late, and then we use all the scenery is force scaled. So very interesting scenery we have at times. And also, Frank's courtyard, the courtyard, the term of the courtyard coming from that times. That was originally the tennis court, and the people changed it as a theatrical spaces. So that courtyard is coming from that time. Globe Theater also, Victorian area. So we got the terms of this. So when you take a look at all the venues, that time we use material like stone or concrete, wood. That was easy to modify it. We call the stage carpenter at the time. They easily modified it or added something, but then time changes. We have a very strong structure for this moment. And then it is very hard to change the venue for this moment. Let's take a look at the 100 years. This old big theater, we call the Sandow Trick. Sandow Trick is very interesting technology. So there is a lot of wooden track, the ceiling, and then they use the stone, and then they make the Sandow effects. But the sounds are really good. I heard that sounds in old big theater. It's still existing. It is awesome. And wind machines, we made up the wood effects and make them sounds. So this is a sound effect we have that time. Interesting. The Sam Wanamaker's Playhouse, that is my favorite. When you go to London, and then you may find that theater in basement, Globe Theater. that is a reflects Asian Middle Ages technology. We use candlelights, and then this is Victorian era designings. So it's quite good intimacy unities through the stage and audience areas. The people jumping around, actors jumping around, and then they make a very good unities. This is awesome. So what is a contemporary venue for this moment? What is the difference between the Asians and today's? Well, when you take a look at the previous, this is one of my favorite, the Garnier Palace, is a Paris Opera House. Yeah, there is a Chagall paintings on there. There is a lot of history there, but we have a limited time to talk about that. Anyway, there is a lot of cool decorations, and also there is classes. We call that this one is a parterre in French languages. There was no seating there. The lower class is just standing there, and then the upper class is standing there. And they show the class and then decoration. This is a typical theater in the time, but things change. It is a black box theater. We see the functions, people, and community, that's all. So when you think about the modern theater, all the decorations is diminished, but we mainly, what is the main things for the theater? So function. So we leave the people and community function for the modern things. Think about another examples. This is a Wagner's Veilers Festival Hall. So this is designed by Wagner's, and then he has a fantastic symphony. The repertoire, he wants to use his repertoire through his venue. So it has one of the deepest orchestra fits, and then that sounds coming from is a very low space, and then they reflex space, and then they make a lot of reverberations so that he can make a good sound image for this space. This is one of the great things. The space is, meaning we prefer the space than building. This is a great example of this building, meaning. So this is made of all the scaffoldings. We call that Tricycle Theatre, 200 seats. But they have a really good intimacy and unities, which is good, but it made up scaffoldings. So it telling us, so what is the meaning of the building and the space? Maybe we can, maybe focus on the space than of the building for this moment. Yeah, this is one of my favorite venues in New York City. This is Park Avenue Armory. There was local community buildings, but it changed as a venue for publics. So it has empty space. It's really hard to rigging something. It's very inconvenient space, but it's beautiful. So Macbeth, it happened in Park Avenue Emory 4 years ago, I think. It has very interesting space, the seating layouts. So people is watching each other, and then this is a very narrow space for actings. So when you take a look in big perspectives, you may see that people is getting inside through big spaces. It has already reflects on the world view in the play. So when you get into the venue, they feel the sense of the world view of this play. Yeah, this is such a great example. It happened on another project in same venue, Park Avenue Emory. They just copy and paste the Royal Shakespeare Company Theatre into their venue, kind of the box and box project. So they bring in all the pieces through the container made of the container is coming as comes to seating systems. So they made a good Royal Shakespeare Company's places, which is great. They also do a lot of the experiment projects. So this is one of the places loved by New York citizens. So now we are getting into digital era, digital concert hall. So this concert hall is loved by people who already been there, which is fascinating. So once we someone been there and they love to watching live concerts through their apps, yeah, which is great. So I want to talk about this one later a little bit. So what value we have through our art community? Maybe we need to think about that. So I want to highlight the three elements. One is intimacy. This one is a great things happen into our venues. So I just use one example. So we see a lot of intimacy going on with the between the stages. Yeah. And also, this is a good example of the see what is intimacy. See, we have only one piece of the carpet, and then they standing here. The walkthrough, the people who walk through the staging is actor, and then sitting who watching the walking people is audience, and then they are very close. Yeah, this reflects the meaning of the intimacy. The second one is a unity. This is picture coming from the Royal Shakespeare Company. They went to refugee camp 2016, and they have some servicing to peoples, and they have a small show, and then the people nobody commented to make a form, but they already made stage formations configuration automatically. This is a great sense of the what is the unities, which is great. So unity is not only coming from the theater, they're coming from all the art community. This is a museum of Louvre museums. So people is just singing together, and then they make a scenery of their art communities, which is great. So this is an example of the unities. And this is all as well. So we see they are embracing the people's stage. So they are very close. They show the audience intimacy as well. So this is a great example of the unities. These days, the experience of the audience is getting more important. We are looking at the Elgar rooms in Royal Albert Hall. Royal Albert Hall the Elgar room has a 600 program per year. Can you imagine that? 600 program per year, which means they need 2 or 3 program per day. That is these people make the possibility of this why they have 600 programs. So they are embracing 0 ages to 12, 12 to 16, and 20 to 30s. So they make a great artistic art communities through their venues. They have nothing. They have movable chairs. They have some curtain, that's all. But they make a great program for art communities. This is a great example of the experienced audience. So their audience journey start from online. They online the tickets, and sometimes they coming through the transportations and driving, and then they get there, the lobby and out of lobbies, and then they experience with the restroom and all the other facilities. They experience the function and experience those things. So their journey of the theater or art venue is a start from here to there through the parking lot. Plan your visit is getting more important. The venue is trying to give more storytelling, not only the show, they trying to give more experience with their circulations. So this is an example of the South Bank. They bring the more F&B systems, and then also they have a merchandise shop. So once the audience getting to their venue, they experience those facility. So they usually call the plan your visits. So let's take a look at another example. What is the sequence that we have through our venue? This is a great example. Let's see. This is Albert Hall, Royal Albert Hall, and then they have a time lapse through the whole year. So that shows what sequence they have, annual sequence, to give more experience to their audiences. So sometimes they have some entertainment show. Sometimes they bring tennis matchings like Wimbledon's. Sometimes they bring new projects like how to say Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, which is great. I think we have a lack of time. I think we are limited time to show the whole the videos, but so let me just skip that. So experience, in terms of the experience, I think this venue is a great example. We have a 3,000 Celsius melting pot, 3 melting pot, and then this is artist glass artist. So they make glass art, and the public want to see in closely, so that we use they use big screens on here, and then there is a band, so they make some new experience to audiences. This is a big changing. This is another examples on New Order Symphony located in Miami, and this is a common orchestra, New Order Symphony Orchestra, and they have a collaboration work with projection and designers. So they have a one storytelling with two expressions with projections and musics. Then also they have a new interesting facility like wallcast. So you may see the people in the just laying on here. They bring their chair and the keys on sitting here. Mostly, we have a very limited visitor for classic music, including the traditional music as well. So this is another way to embracing public as an audience for classical music or traditional music. So through their space, they can bring their children, including myself. I have two kids, but I can bring them into classic music venues. So this is one of the great examples to how to observe embracing the new publics. This is research of how the wordcast is going on. This is a word map. So this is main word is a happy, relax, means when they come to wordcast, they feel the happy with the people, kids, and then they feel the relaxed. They doesn't need to suit and tie and then sitting on then see where. So this is, I think, means a lot of things. Let me skip this one. This is one of my projects. This is linear projects. This is a cultural center, cultural venues. It has been built 4 years ago, but the venue is not work well. So the whole city is asked me to do something. So I designed some diagram, and I researched the area through two months, and then we figure out some good stage configurations like this. So we find out that some of the dance company wants to have performance. This is entrance, but they want to do have some performing art on at the door and in entrance, because they have a good light at that moment. In the afternoon, they have a really good lights, and they want to use them as their one of the expressions, which is great. So I added more the stage forms so that the companies or other productions utilize that space. Uh, so this is one of the approaches how we deliver intimacy and unities for the with new experience with audience. So space is getting changed. This is a new trend is coming. So so people maybe a sense of the new trend, which is there's no more new venues. We have already good venues all over the world. So is maybe 5% or 8% have a new venue, the whole area annually, but mostly it's dedicated to renovations or found in place project, which is maybe found abandoned places, we transform as a new venues, those things. So re-imagining imagining and revitalizing is a main word for so next 10 years. Art space designing. So I just make some diagram how we trend is getting changed. So mostly we maybe focus on the remodeling, which is just replacing facility. And there is old structure we want to replace it. That is just a typical remodeling. We doesn't like that. Now next 10 years, maybe we need to get used to a new approach like theater in found space and then temporary spaces and reprogrammings. Those things coming from the new trend. So let's say there is a factory, storage, or abandoned space. We trying to bring new breaths with the artistic and then make up some immersive spaces. Sometimes our artwork is very experimental. Maybe venue owners doesn't like to invite us. Sometimes that happens. So they want to make some temporary space in a square or yard, and then so that they can recognize our artwork. That is a purpose. I don't know how to. Oh, sorry. And then there is a reprogramming. So there is a cinema space or other space we want to revitalizing and lively theater. So I give you a couple of examples. We have a little time, but I want to show a couple of examples. Palace Theater is located in United States, and then this is actually cinema palace, and then it still have old skins, which is great. I love it. And we still have a indoor space that has a original skin, but they totally change it. So there is people standing on here, and then it changed it as an event hall for DJing or artwork, performing arts. So yeah, it gives us a great sense. This Sky Stage is a very interesting project. The architect would have a club, one of my favorite. It happened in 2017. That space actually burned. So nobody used that spaces. And then community think about, oh, maybe we can ask her to design these spaces. And then at the clocks design that area with many very interesting form of the wooden structures. So now it changes as a performing arts venues. it's an outdoor, but it embracing all artwork in communities. I'm not sure we still have this one, but this is good examples. Stage and warehouse that happens 2015, Brooklyn, New York, architecture of the marble architects. So it was a cigarette factory, and then they have a more infrastructure on with here and then layouts for the performing arts. So it was like a store warehouse, yeah, and then they changed as a music or drama venues, uh, and then they have a beautiful sunshine coming through their roof. They have made a glass leaks on here. This is such a great place. So through the venues, they make a lot of great intimacy and unities. I love this space. You see the pictures, isn't it beautiful? BFAR Art Center, this is China project. I think when you go to Shanghai, you may find it is located in Pudong area. It was a factory to repairing ships, not ships, ship. I have a very interesting skins on here. Yeah, I think it's a great idea with so when you take a look inside it, they still, you know, uh, some reserved some preserved some skins as well, and also they yeah, you can see the big great skin as well, which is great. And on the temporary theater, this is a shed at the National Theater. There was a seventh renovation project, and during the time, the one of the theater is closing, so they want to make a new temporary theater during the times. So they just expanded the temporary areas. So this is a view of the theater, and then when you take a look, and this is temporary theater, but it looks great. This is originally church located in the Netherlands, Holland, and it was a church, and then they added some infrastructure on here so that they can coming back to church if they want. So they added seating on here, and they expanded one small boxes for stages support. So this is the structures. They just sit on their floor. Yeah, they make a great F&B systems. So program makes space. I agree 100%. This is one of the examples, National Theater republishment, and I just, yeah, it has original plan 1908, but the building, I just forgot the years, but 30 years later, they followed these papers, which is great. This is original picture, and then at that moment, architecture, they just announced the architecture. That architecture doesn't have any experience with the theater, but council wants him because they want to collaborate with the artist. So once they appointments the architect, his name is Laston. He doesn't have any experience designing theater. But Peter Brook, including Peter Brooks, which is one of the great art directors, they have a lot of and the 20s members of the art councils. They work together for 3 months. They talked about seating. So once they how we designed the theater, he asked their last terms. He asked Peter Brook, and Peter Brook answered, "You need to go to nightclubs and boxing areas or theater, so you need to sense of the people how we get around." So which means that reflects intimacies, unities, and those experiences, which is great. So now we went through seventh renovation. We call that anti-future. Anti means the national theater, so anti-futures makes sense. So they expanded one interesting building that has a lot of facilities, but mostly it dedicated education programs and then building programs. And also, this is one of the case of the of South Bank Center. They use the lobby area as some lounges, members' lounges. So once the people join the membership, they can use lobby area as a solo spaces or listings or business meeting space, so that South Bank Center wants to embrace the people, not only audience, they want to embrace in public, so that they can transform as a potential some audiences. This is the things happening all the. Yes. I think we may need to skip those things. Yeah. Program makes a space, and those maybe we can skip those things. Sorry, we have a lot of time. This is not my project, but I think they can give us some good perspective of what is programming. The National Sawdust was Sawdust Factory, and then they have public funded, and then they make some new places. It's such a beautiful spaces. It's a small venue. The people just make a music projects, or they do some dramas that also embracing the local communities as well. It's located in Brooklyn, I think. Yeah. So maybe I want to show some video clips how they observe the communities. It's very short. So as you can see, they can give us center stages, or so it's very embracing throughout the stages. And then to make up the income, they develop the F&Bs. That makes sense. And then they broadcasting the whole thing into the public, so that they make sponsors and more potential audiences. This is a kind of the performing art drama. They have a lot. You may see the collaborations with actors and musicians. And after this one, they have a pause. The whole program, they have a lot of talk with the community. So I think that reflects future's art community, how we relate with how we embrace locals and then artists. It's a very, I think it's very small venue, but it's very robust. Algorithms, I already mentioned it. So confrontation, digital and offline. Do you think is they fight each other? I don't think so. I think digital is a new genre and offline is a different ones. So I think they doesn't need to fight each other. You don't need to feel stressed. Oh, my artwork doesn't work with the online. No. So this is one of the great example. They design with the tilt brush, Google's, and then the shops make a real one, and then they exhibit in the real one into museums. So we are having new genre with technologies. And I think the online, offline has make a good harmonies with the new audiences. Maybe through these collaborations, we can bring more new audience into our venues. This is we are talking about the harmonies in near futures. We can skip that. Yeah, we may skip. So I want to highlight one of my projects. I have only, I think I need to finish up the 4:45. So I have 6 minutes. So this is one of my projects we are working on Chuncheon City. Purchased church many years ago, and then they used that space festival theater. Now the structure getting old, and then they need reinforcement and then renovations. So we are, I'm helping them and the planning and then designing the theaters. So sorry, it has written in Korean, but maybe I can explain some, yeah, better. Right. So this is the place we are looking at. This is a theater, and then this is a residence area, and then this is art gallery. So this is kind of uh, uh, the art community villages. So anyway, it's very near to Chuncheon City Hall. Is we can say it located in downtown. And then Chuncheon venues have a very limited sequencing. They couldn't absorb all the creative sequencing, so they can make a performance, but it's really hard to have a short lasting. They have no space for eating something, and there's no space for rehearsals. So it's very limited. And then embracing intimacy is very low, and we want to uh, highlight that, and then we want to bring it up that values through in this project. So as you can see, less intimacy, we are looking at the front audience area that is separated and is totally separated, and there is no continuities. And there's a side seating is blocked by a wall, and then there's no continuities. So unity is it's very poor. So we want to bring better values. So we start to thinking about how we make some sequence in urban context. So I use 5 frame vectors that coming from Mastering Music City. If you want to take a look, you can go to ifpi.org and then find out the mastering of the music cities. That is a report, and then they use 5 frames. That gives us a great sense of to measure how we look at the venues. So and then also there is some issue with programming. So this is our venues, and then this is the blue thing is a public venue run by Chuncheon City, but it is very limited. So they have the same programs anyway. So we start to develop the to research all the areas, and we find out there is a lot of amateurs and musicians. So maybe we think that we can bring more musical programs instead of that. And also, we find out there is a very limited circulation of the program. They only have 30 days or 60 days show per day per years. So we want to use a music program to bring it up that the circulations. Yes, and I think 44 minutes left. Yes. So we through this perspective, we talked about we have a lot of interviews with communities, and they agree with that. And then this is a sequence of the musicians. So we want to make reflect those areas into our venue. So musician, they can have a performance, but also they have a rehearsal, or they have a have to go to lounge, have some lunch and the lasting. So we observed all the sequence of the creativities into our venues. So, and also we want to make better intimacies and throughout our stages. So we're trying to bring it up, the intimacy unity through our venues. Yeah, this is a diagram we developed for the designing spaces. So we can see the journey, we think about the journey of the audiences, actors or musicians, sequencings, and then we talked about productions work, collaboration, and then that reflects all the areas throughout diagrams. And we developed a program to expand that audience experience so that this is family basis and educations, students and universities, and how we develop the non-audiences. Yeah, that reflects. And we simulate all the lounge, excuse me, all the lounge areas with so this is a daily imaginations, how we use the community space. So this is a located first floor. So as you can see the differences with the programs. And also we have a leg of the place to help the musicians. So we want to pull back the dressing room desk so that they can use this space as a musical layout areas. So we have talked about the expansions. So I think this is all the what I have. I think 2 minutes over for this moment. So we change the programs, expansions, so that we embracing communities. So hopefully, sorry, 1 minute. So and also we're trying to make some new collaboration with mixed realities. So we talked about this one with the artist in the Broadway in on mixed reality. So these are design meetings as well. So this is my avatars. Interesting, right? And also we developed some interesting projects. So we developed the app to find out testing the area, Chuncheon area, so with the mixed reality. So we bring the scenery and the peoples, and then we move out and then find out the spacing is works for artists and then designers. And we are trying to make some digital collaboration with the virtual tour, and this is ongoing project, and so that we can make a collaborate the intimacy with all lines with audiences and or potential audiences. I think that's all what we have. Thanks for joining my class. If you have more questions, you may come to my website or send email. Maybe if you want more about my projects or you want to talk about the topic that I brought, and then we can talk about that later. Thank you for watching my class and lectures, and see you next time. Bye.